Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 4. Module 4 is just a continuation of fiction. You'll have some new short stories to read, some new chapters with some more specific terminology that you'll learn, it's another quiz, and then we're going to focus a little bit more on symbols for your writing assignment in this module. So we're not quite to the point where we are taking an exam yet. That'll be coming soon, an exam and an essay. So for right now, just kind of enjoy being able to get into the stories, do some assignments that are maybe a little less pressure for you, because we're looking at things that, like quizzes that you can take more than once, that kind of thing. So your focus for this unit is point of view, style, and symbolism. And so in the textbook, you can look back at the chapters, point of view, style, symbolism, and then under each chapter will be some examples that you want to make sure that you're reading as well. So we have like the Cask of Amontillado, etc. And the lottery, a lot of you probably have read, but I do recommend looking back over it. Even if you know the ending, I know it's, second time through, it's not as fun, but look over it anyway. And then I've got some more information about point of view for you, just if you're interested, especially in terminology for point of view, because we have quite a few different ways that an author can show point of view in their story. So once you're done with all the readings, take the quiz, and then the last part of the module for the writing assignment part is a discussion board. So I try to mix between doing collaborative assignments, which would be like discussion boards where you have to work with your peers, and then individual assignments where like the cultural identity journal where you're just doing your own opinion. So I got a little more information about studying symbols in here, and I really like this video. I highly recommend watching it because symbolism is, it's a little bit harder to identify because it is sometimes dependent on the person who's looking for the symbol as to what it might mean. So it is not always black and white. Sometimes, you'll see a symbol in something and somebody else will see the same symbol, but you might have a different opinion about what it means. And then sometimes you'll see something that is a symbol and somebody else might not see that one at all. So it really is dependent on kind of who you are and your background a little bit as to what you see as symbols. And it's also something that I feel like in high school in particular, we teach kids to like symbol hunt, and there's a right answer kind of thing. And that's not always the case with symbolism. It's a little bit more subjective than that. And so I really like this video and kind of going over how to identify what's a symbol and what's not, and that kind of thing. So that might help you out a little bit with this chapter. And obviously the stories within the chapter are good examples of use of symbol and allegory. Allegory is basically a story that is just an extended symbol. So then once you're done with that, you can do the discussion board. So the discussion board is asking you to create two entries. So you can do 4 posts separately, 2 for your story. So what you want to do first is decide which stories you want to use. There's all kinds of stories. I really would like for you particularly to pick something that you haven't used for one of the other assignments. If it turns out that you have to, that's okay. But I would really like for you to, pick something that you haven't already done. So that short fiction assignment and then cultural identity journal, those are what we've done so far. And then also make sure that you're not picking a story that somebody else has already done. So we can only do each story once, and that's important to remember. So look through the posts that are already there first before you choose your story. So what you can do though is, let's say you want to do the lottery, just hit reply and then put Shirley Jackson, the lottery, and then you've saved that one for yourself, and then just hit reply. Once you're ready to actually create your post, over here on the side, these 3 dots will allow you to edit your post, and then you can go in and actually add the content. So content-wise, you're just going to do a basic explanation of the main characters and the plot. You can put this in bullet points, or you can just give me a paragraph, doesn't matter. And then the other part of it is to identify symbols. So the first part is to identify at least 3 symbols in the story. This is, again, a little subjective, so you can look for what you think is a symbol and what you think it means. So don't feel too much pressure to have the right answer or to be right or correct in your symbolism analysis. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's your opinion, right? And then if you want, and this is optional, you don't have to, if you want, you can also ask an AI generator for 3 symbols and what they mean. And just copy and paste them in there, and make sure you would label which one is which. For academic assignments, I like Perplexity the best, but ChatGPT is the one that most students have probably used before. So just, whichever one you want is fine. And then, so you're just going to put the 2 lists in there, yours and then the AI generators. So then once you've posted that, then you can go in and you'll respond to your peers' post. Don't forget your responses. And then your response is whether you agree or disagree with their analysis of the symbol's meaning. And then if they included that AI list, you can kind of comment on which one is more accurate, or which interpretation you like better, that kind of thing, or which one makes more sense, or if they're completely different symbols that came up with, why would that be? So any kind of reflection on that. And then at least one additional symbol that was not identified by your peer, and then just kind of overall what you think the theme of the story is. So your responses do need to be different from what other students have commented, and try to go with like the first one that doesn't have any response, because that'll just make it easier for everyone to spread out the responses a little bit. Sometimes we all congregate on like the first one who posts, that kind of thing. So this is an AI level 2 because you are allowed that option of using an AI generator for your response posts, and that's just part of the assignment if you want to. You'll see this occasionally through the semester, this option to use an AI generator for part of the assignment. And so take advantage of that if you want to, or not if you just don't want to. That's totally fine as well. If you have questions, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.